Boys and girls, believe it or not, Hypixel is undergoing a massive change right now. We have already covered the Skywars and Duels update last week, which are in the works right now, but for me as a BedWars main, today's topic is obviously the most interesting so far. And yes, you heard it correctly, Hypixel admin ModernLegendsLP is really treating us well right now and just recently announced a new BedWars update that has already started being put into effect. But before I tell you about the new changes, let's speak about what's to come. Yes, following ModernLegendsLP's Twitter post announcing the new update, a Hypixel forum post has been released going over what we can expect from the BedWars update. The forum post reads, "We're excited to announce that we have begun preliminary design for a BedWars content update." Right in the second paragraph, it is very clear that BedWars will change quite substantially, with the admin stating, "It's time we try and spice things up a little more." But not going to lie, as much as I welcome new additions to the game, this has me a little bit scared. But what can we expect from the update? Keep in mind, these are just ideas that will probably change a lot until this update fully releases. And by the way, you can obviously submit your very own ideas that might be added here too. I will tell you how at the end of the video. The first big change is gameplay related. We're speaking limited time events that introduce temporary new modes and most exciting, community milestones that could give you BedWars experience rewards. This milestone system has already been integrated in the Slumber update right here, if you remember. As you can see, milestones, as more people completed the hotel, different things like map packs were unlocked. Next up, we have modifiers that, quote, "shake up the core gameplay of BedWars significantly." For me at least, one of the worst ideas so far, not going to lie. There's also the thought to introduce new Dreams modes and remove some of the less popular ones. Please, by the way, make it armed and swap. Who plays that? And now you have to be strong because ModernLegendsLP listed examples of Dream modes that the admin team is actually considering to add. And some of these, you can believe me there, are just borderline goofy. For example, BedWars Kebab. Each player spawns with a stack of beds and you need to destroy all of them in order to stop someone from respawning. What? But obviously there are also very interesting modes like Bed Royale with 20 teams of 5 players each with a massive map and new ultra rare middle resources. One block BedWars where you spawn on a single block and get a random block or item every few seconds. Perimeter BedWars where there is no mid, and my personal favorite, get ready for this, classic BedWars with only old maps and items. Especially that one just makes me very happy. Imagine the first BedWars map from back in the beta days, Treenan, which you can see right here, only spawning with a pickaxe instead of a sword, and the old shop system. There's some massive nostalgia and a massive W in my book. Now let's move on from the gameplay side of things and take a look at new items and balancing. This is a very short but interesting category. Basically, BedWars should receive new permanent items. While at first it doesn't seem too big of a deal, just imagine how fundamentally some of the already existing items influence common BedWars strategies. BedWars might never be the same again, and I hope it is going to change for the better. Next up, we have major Slumber Hotel changes. I will keep this very short since I can't wait to tell you about the changes that have already been made to BedWars. But basically, ModernLegendsLP says, we want to extend it in both directions, making it accessible to level 1 players and also extend its content for veteran players. He mentions an easy Slumber Hotel start also functioning as sort of a tutorial to BedWars, followed by the currently existing questline that won't see too much change, completed by the new late-game content that can be compared to the Angel's Descent progression system from Skywars. I think it should go without saying that I absolutely love the way this is headed. As a BedWars veteran, the Slumber Hotel was merely a one-week way to skip an ugly prestige for me, so seeing it becoming this highly grindable will be an absolute blast. And now before I will tell you how you can submit your own ideas to be potentially added to the next BedWars update, let's take a look at the changes that are already into effect. And these are no minor changes. First up, we have a pre-game name obfuscation, and second off, believe it or not, matchmaking changes. Yes, you have heard it correctly, in BedWars pre-game lobbies like this one, you will no longer see anyone's names or skins, You can see it right here in action. This is also my first time looking at it. This looks very much like a tournament, honestly. And this has some huge implications for the way this game works. Q dodging has basically become obsolete, while the admin's intention was to tackle the issue of sniping, so for every player I have asked, reported sniping to be a far bigger problem with this change now. To the point where players who have never been sniped before now get sniped up to 4 times per hour. On the other hand, this is reportedly speeding up queues dramatically, drastically reducing queuing times and thus increasing the amount of BedWars XP gained per hour. And I've already tried this while looking at the name obfuscation, but let's see if that's actually true. I join, open a new queue, and it immediately fills. Okay, this is crazy. I can't believe that it's this efficient now. Let's try my main mode. Okay, I open a lobby, follow BedWars, couple people join. Yeah, okay, you could argue that it's a little faster in doubles, sure, but in solos this effect is very noticeable. Let's just say on average queues are a little faster. I feel like I can notice it, but sometimes it doesn't work perfectly. Now we have the most controversial change yet, already negatively impacting Skywars. The matchmaking system has been reworked. Yes, you heard it correctly. At first they changed it, so there were 300 plus star queues, which is obviously very extreme, but they quickly reverted it to the following changes. The new player bracket with 1 to 10 stars, noobs with 10 to 50 stars, and everyone else with 50 plus stars. I want to remind you, before this update, matchmaking was literally just new players up to 15 stars and everyone else. Also, in order to not negatively impact queuing times, if the pregame takes longer than 30 seconds, any star player is allowed to join. In combination with the name obscurity part, which still looks very interesting, I always feel like I'm in a tournament when I join this game. These changes will definitely raise BedWars' skill cap for higher star players substantially. The last thing I considered very interesting though was this bit. We also have plans to get rid of the concept of pre-games completely. I would say it is up to speculation for now as to what's to expect from that, but if this thing gets removed, not gonna lie, I will miss you. Please stay with us, pre-game lobby. How can you submit your own ideas to hopefully be added into the update? MotoGorilla is asking explicitly for your ideas multiple times throughout all of these posts, so I have linked you the main update post as well as the Twitter post in the video description so you can comment your ideas. Now, I really hope you all enjoyed this video. We still have a couple subjects to cover, like the new War Games update, or most importantly, how Hypixel will switch to the newest version and change forever. If you want to not miss out on these topics, be sure to subscribe. I'm heavily working on informing you about all the recent changes right now, and I'm speedrunning to 2,800 stars because this prestige doesn't look too great, so you maybe also want to see that. Lastly, I want to thank Vad for being an awesome channel member, and now have yourself a wonderful rest of the day or night, and goodbye.